Hello, this is my review for Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1 as a whole. I'm not going to go into details about each individual episode, I might do that in a separate video at some point, but I'm just going to give my brief overview and brief thoughts on the show just as I've finished Season 1. Just my overall thoughts and what I thought the biggest positives were and what would be my biggest negative for the show. I'm going to start with the characters as the biggest positive. Biggest positive for me would be the characters: Picard, Riker, Data, LaForge, Worf, Deanna Troi, and Dr. Crusher. I think they were just great. They were fantastic. That was a solid 7 characters, a solid cast of 7. I really liked their interactions. I really liked the dynamic between the team. I liked the way they played, the way that they bounced back and forth off each other. I think I would probably say of the 7, my 2 favourites would be Picard and Data, with Riker coming in third place. But Geordie LaForge and Worf and Dr. Crusher and Deanna Troi, they were all solid as well. So I'm a little bit biased in favour of Picard and Data, but the others were great. I feel like the aesthetic feel of the show was also a major positive. I just loved the way the show felt, the way that it looked, the atmosphere, the overall, the design, the costume design, the set design. I thought that was fantastic. I think the biggest reason why I see that as a positive is that I've actually already seen Picard season 1, Picard season 2, Picard season 3, and my introduction to Star Trek was in the J.J. Abrams trilogy, the 2009, 2013, and 2016 Star Trek films that I enjoyed, but as time has gone on, I would probably say that I haven't enjoyed anywhere near as much, because I feel like the original 6 Star Trek films, the original Star Trek show from the 60s, the Next Generation films, Star Trek Generations, Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek Insurrection, and Star Trek Nemesis, I just feel like I prefer them. I feel like they're better. I'm more invested in them, and I feel like the J.J. Abrams trilogy, even though I think it was I can't remember his name, but another guy directed the third one, Star Trek Beyond, in 2016. The J.J. Abrams trilogy of Star Trek films, for me, just feels, maybe it just looks and feels a little bit too Apple story, if you know what I'm trying to say. It looks a little bit too clean, too pristine. I feel like the look that they had in the Star Trek: The Next Generation season 1, and also in the 4 films that I've already seen, I just prefer it. I just think it feels more lived in. It feels more real. It feels not as squeaky clean. It feels like people have been there for a while. People have truly experienced a fair bit without ever actually showing you that they've experienced what they have experienced over the years. But you can just get the sense that this ship and these people have been through quite a bit. I'm going to talk about like 2 characters, just 2 characters, even though I'm going to maybe do another video about the episodes, each individual episode, and what my favourites were and what I thought the biggest positives of the different episodes were. But I'm going to talk about other major positives. I'm going to start with Data and how I loved him as a concept. I thought he was fantastic. He was just intriguing in that he's an android, but he's trying to learn from humans. He's trying to actually, in a sense, intellectually is superior to everyone around him, but he's longing to be like his inferiors, if you know what I mean, intellectually. And that Data is obviously much more intelligent than we are, but Data wants to be as human as possible. He's aspiring to be human, even though he's so much smarter than the rest of us, and he's physically stronger than the rest of us. But he wants to be a human being as much as he can. And then I'm going to obviously, of course, talk about Patrick Stewart as Picard, and how, for me, this was just fantastic. I love Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and I've heard great things before. I heard amazing things about Patrick Stewart in this role before I originally watched Star Trek First Contact, before I saw him in Star Trek Generations, Insurrection, Nemesis. Thought he was great in all those films, and in this season, Star Trek: The Next Generation season 1, he is fantastic here as well. I just love him, and I love also the opening the opening, like, introduction that we get to the show. I don't want to say almost theme song. I don't quite know how to. Introduction, the intro at the start of each episode. I think that's just fantastic. And Patrick Stewart's monologue in that is also fantastic. I'm going to leave it at that, because I think I could probably do a video on all the different episodes, but just overall, I'm going to say this was a fantastic season. I'm going to watch as many more as I'm going to try and watch all the other Star Trek: The Next Generation seasons. And this season was, to me, fantastic. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Just overall, great season, great characters, and once again, love the feel of the film. And I can't wait to start watching Star Trek: The Next Generation season 2. Thanks for watching.